To see you this morning. No mention whatsoever of what Joe Biden did when he got into office on day one, which was canceling the Keystone Pipeline, canceling drilling on federal land. Does Jennifer Granholm not believe that that has anything to do with the price of oil and gas surging because of simple supply-demand fundamentals?
Well, I'd like to give the secretary the benefit of the doubt, but in this case, she's either misleading or just totally ignorant of the facts, both of which you wouldn't expect in an administrator. But if you look at it, the reason the gas prices are so high is because Joe Biden and the radical left have in essence declared a war on U.S. energy production. Just as you said, Maria, day number one, canceling the Keystone XL pipeline. Even before that, saying that he was going to ban drilling on federal land. Also saying that he was going to phase out hydrocarbons during the Democrat debate. And what does that do? That dries up investment, dries up capital going into the energy sector. So you cannot find funding to build the pipelines. And that's even when you can get the permitting to get pipelines and other oil and gas infrastructure in place that would help alleviate this crisis. Now, it's just convenient for them that they can turn around and blame Putin, but the American people are way too sophisticated for that because they know that gas prices have risen literally every month since Joe Biden took office. For a year before Putin invaded Ukraine, gas was already up $1 a gallon over what it was when President Trump was president.
Yeah, it's a great point. I want to turn to the new testimony against the former Clinton campaign lawyer, Michael Sussman, and what is happening in that D.C. courtroom. We are talking about this lie that John Durham is telling us Michael Sussman made when he said, I am not coming to the Bureau on anybody's behalf. I want to help the Bureau. Am I supposed to believe that it was Michael Sussman alone who got the FBI to open up an investigation against Donald Trump? I point to a New York Post story this morning how the FBI bigwig aided and abetted the Hillary Clinton plot. What is your reaction to what we learned yesterday?
Well, a lot of things. Number one, Sussman is in this position where no matter what, we're able to blow the narrative apart that there was some kind of conspiracy with Russia and to show that this was actually a hoax from the start. And here's why. Sussman's defense is that the FBI knew that he was a political operative working with the Clinton campaign. If that's the case, then it shows that the FBI all along knew that the Steele dossier was bunk, that a lot of this information was actually coming from Fusion GPS and the Clinton campaign, and it wasn't real intelligence. The other thing is that Sussman will have to say that he lied to the FBI, which again is what the case is trying to prove. But regardless of any kind of convictions in this case, Maria, the Durham probe and the Durham investigation has done what it started out to do, uncovered a lot of evidence, and also has just shown that this Russian conspiracy theory is just that. It was a product of the Clinton campaign. Jim Comey and the FBI got political and tried to go after the Trump campaign in 2016. So to that extent, Durham is already successful regardless of convictions.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about, because we know that one of the key cyber guys at the FBI knew right away. There was no way that Trump was communicating with this Alpha Bank. There was no way anything about these Yoda phones. The cyber chief at the FBI has already said that. I knew from day one that there was nothing here. That was in 2016. But if you fast forward just to January of 2017, we know that the FBI had a 3-day interview with Igor Danchenko, and that's the subsource of the dossier. And Igor Danchenko told them on January 25, 26, 27 in 2017, it was all made up. We were just, joking around, having beers and embellishing. So that was January 2017. The FBI knew that it was bunk, but they continued to pursue FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign. And they had a FISA warrant against Carter Page. So my question is, are we going to see some FBI agents up there on stand testifying under oath? Because you can't possibly believe that this whole thing started from Michael Sussman. The FBI wanted to take down Trump.
Right. We're going to see FBI agents? Very likely. But just as you were saying, this whole exercise shows that from the very start, the FBI knew the Steele dossier was a product of the Clinton campaign, Fusion GPS, and it was manufactured. They went with it because they wanted to hurt the Trump campaign. They wanted to make sure that if Trump got elected, that he was going to be damaged from the start. And you saw that, just as you were saying, in January of 2017, when they used this false information to spy on the incoming Trump team and the new Trump administration. And think about what that did. The FBI got political. It really stunted the Trump administration from the very start. Now, it was a successful administration, but imagine how successful it could have been had they not had this specter of controversy, this nonsense about collusion with Russia over the administration, especially in those first 24 months of the administration.
That is exactly right. Bingo, you just hit it. Congressman, thanks very much for being here.
Thanks, Maria.